Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Lawrence Report. And on tonight's broadcast, we're discussing episode 3 of Summer House, Martha's Vineyard. And y'all, each and every episode continues to give us high level drama. And this episode right here, we will be dealing with uninvited house guests. Now, this episode right here, it picks off right where we left last time, from in which Nick is talking about, how he's a little bit too handsy, right? Some of the men call him out, and of course, he doesn't really notice it, and I don't think that it's intentional for Nick to be handsy like this right here. Keep in mind, this brother do have a girlfriend, right? So his homies, Summer and Jordan, they're like, when he confronts them, they're kind of like, yeah, you are kind of handsy at times, but they're like, well, at least you're not like a peeping tom, right? So he now is aware of what he's doing when it comes to interaction with women in the house, and not only in the house, but just hopefully whenever he returns back home. I don't know if he's handsy with different women in the community, but when he returns back home, hopefully that'd be something that he monitors as well. Now, I'm only going to talk about the key points of this episode right here. And we have a few key points to go over, right? As we know, this episode is basically about uninvited house guests. And we see the castmates, they're getting together for a neon, which I thought was dope, which is a neon summertime party, right? You have the water slides out there, not to mention it's actually raining. So that is a dope idea that I would love to steal for my friends in the future, right? So we see Summer, right? She is inviting a friend by the name of Hendrix. He comes to the house, and again, the name of this right here is uninvited house guest, right? So everybody seemed to be cool with Hendrix coming over, and especially Noelle. Noelle is kind of already attracted to this brother right here. Now we know Noelle and Alex, they kind of have a little fling going on, and Alex couldn't help but to be, somewhat jealous of this new guy, Hendrix. Keep in mind, he's on here for a little visit, but you can see, Alex's demeanor, his whole demeanor changes. Because I feel like in the house, the real alpha male in the house is Alex 100%. That's just my personal opinion. I think it is him. The ladies seem to love him a whole lot. So he is that guy in the house. He caught some feelings when he saw Noelle with this guy Hendrix right here. Speaking of Alex and Noelle, right? After the party's over, we see Alex and Noelle in the kitchen. They're having this conversation, and they kind of are discussing, relationships and status, things of that nature, right? And the party kind of took a damper whenever Summer came walking in. Keep in mind, Summer gave Noelle permission basically to pursue Alex, right? And like I said, it was a whole damper. And even when they're going to get those groceries, she's in the truck asking about Alex and the vibes that she's feeling from him. But we already know at the end of this episode, Alex is a free agent. Like I said in my previous video, that man ain't trying to settle down. Every woman in the house, including Noelle, every woman outside the house has to understand this brother is only in Martha's Vineyard right now looking for a good time. And that's okay if that's his vibe, if that's his thing. But these ladies have to understand that they cannot get too attached to this brother right here, Alex. Let's get down to the nitty gritty when it comes to these uninvited house guests, right? So the castmates are having a meeting about the parameters when it comes to them inviting people over for the summer. And we see that two names that are brought up are Phil and Mariah, right? We know that Phil left a dump in somebody's toilet, didn't flush it. This guy was picking fights with women and men. He made Preston feel uncomfortable. For example, Preston was breaking down crying because of the situation with Phil. And at the same time, we have Mariah, right? Now, Mariah didn't seem to be too much of a big of a threat, I don't think. But it seemed like everybody was cool with her potentially coming back. But even with Phil wasn't coming to live in the house. Apparently, he already had a house in the Vineyard. He was basically just to come to visit. But they didn't even want that right there. All the men was completely against it. Alex, you know, he's like, yo, if you invite him, you're not gonna see the same old happy-go-lucky Alex. Amir, you saw him, he's ready to throw hands with this dude Phil. So Phil coming to the Vineyard is not a good look, but it looks like, despite them already having a house meeting, it looks like a plane ticket was already booked for Mariah. That was a DJ Clue bombshell. Like, how you gonna call for a house meeting, but you're gonna go already and book the plane ticket? What kind of stuff is that right there? So I can understand the frustration with the castmates when it comes to that right there. So I am glad they did have a serious conversation, because we want to make sure that everybody in the house is going to feel safe and welcome with open arms, and nobody has to sleep with one eye open, because nothing like being in a space and you feel like you are threatened due to existence of someone else that you do not like. So shout out to the cast for having this important conversation. So we know that, as the castmates are getting ready for dinner at the dinner table, the conversation is brought up about Phil and Mariah, right? And oh my God, tempers were absolutely flaring when it came to the plane ticket with Mariah, Phil, the whole nine. In fact, Bria ends up walking away, and I mean, when does she not walk away, right? I mean, I feel like she's walking away every episode about something, right? And I am glad to see Summer and Shanice patch things up, and Shanice, she kind of felt some type of way. She's like, listen, I don't have the funds right now. I hate how you was going at me about my clothes, but they patch things up. They both are shading each other, but they seem to be good so far. So to cool tensions down, everybody decided to go to the club and relax, because it's a lot of drama right now going on in the house between multiple people, but a few shots hopefully, can change that for some of them, right? And while at the club, again, like I said, Alex is out there flirting with a couple of ladies. And of course, we see Noelle. She takes offense to it, and she's kind of upset. She even pulls them to the side. They have a conversation. She's like, do you know that I have interest in you? But I don't know how many times I'm about to say it. That man, Alex, he's only here for fun times. He's not trying to get in a relationship or nothing like that. He just literally here for a fun time. And then, her feelings are kind of hurt. I hate that for her, but it is what it is. But we'll see as the show progresses. Will they actually end up becoming, a couple? For this part right here, I really understand the drama between Summer and Jordan, right? I feel like they was overlapping each other. They even called in Preston to chime in. I just believe, me personally, there's something going on with Summer. I can't really figure it out. I feel like she plays the victim a whole lot. And when she makes that little crying, whiny voice, that aggravates the mess out of me. I cannot stand it when she does that right there. And that's how the episode ends. So again, like I said, that little whiny voice that she do absolutely annoys me. Yeah. But yeah, this story was a very good episode. It was a very important conversation that they need to have, considering that you living in Martha's Vineyard, and you are going to have family, friends come over. We know that you're going to be dealing with different types of personalities, different nationalities, different races of people, different religions, different backgrounds. So all those people coming to the Vineyard could be a head-on collision, when you continue to invite several people onto the Vineyard. So great episode. I could say the first 3 episodes for me is basically a 10 out of 10. Every episode so far has been great in my personal opinion. So yeah, that is Summer House, Martha's Vineyard, y'all. My 2 favorite scenes from this area was definitely a conversation that they had about, the plane ticket whenever they was at the dinner table outside, but also when it came to Amir in his blackness. Now, we know that he's still discovering his blackness. We know that was an issue for him on the previous season and, still happening this season. And they asked him about certain movies that he may not have seen, right? It just, as a black person, certain movies you have to already have seen. You already have to seen The Best Man, New Jack City, Soul Food, The Temptations, just certain, the Michael Jackson story. There's just certain movies as a black person you have to seen, right, in the black experience. So hopefully he will continue to discover his blackness. And as always, thank you for tuning in to the Lawrence Report.